I'm going to check and report today's topic. If anybody knows me, they know I'm a huge Batman fan. And I went out today and I watched The Batman, the new film with Robert Patterson, Zoe Kravitz, among other actors. And I came here to give my review. And right off the back, this movie is trash. This movie was trash. This movie was busada. This movie was trash, man. I'm here to get into it. Now, I'm not going to get into no spoilers. I'm not going to ruin the film for you guys. If you guys have any, wish to go out and watch it, I'm not going to ruin the film for you. I'm just going to talk about the gripes that I had watching this movie. First gripe that I had. This movie was 3 hours long. 3 long hours long. Now listen, when you're invested in a movie and you're sitting there for that long, that's fine. Like when Endgame came out, when Infinity Wars came out, I set my behind in them seats for 3 hours, and I had no problem because I was invested, and there was movies and sequels and prequels and a bunch of movies leading up to this film. So the 3 hours I had already invested into this story. But when it comes to The Batman, a story that, there's been plenty of Batman movies, but this is not like a sequel to another Batman film. This is not, the Dark Knight sequel or anything like that. This is an independent Batman film that stands on its own. And right off the back, you're starting off with a 3-hour movie. I thought that was ridiculous. And I just thought they when it comes to the story, it could have been told better within a 2-hour, 30-minute frame. 2-hour, 30 minutes time frame. 3 hours of this story, of this convoluted, long drawn out story that a lot of the film that I was watching, I felt like it could have been cut. A lot of the scenes that were in this movie could have been cut. Now let's get to my second gripe. Let me say this right off the back. Robert Patterson did a decent job playing Bruce Wayne in The Batman. He did a decent job. I want to right off the back say that the man did his thing. He did a great job. I love the things that they did in terms of his detective work. I love that they were showing like the Batman's detective work and the work he puts down with the boots on the ground. But what I didn't like was a lot of the other characters in this movie. Commissioner Gordon. I thought Commissioner Gordon was trash. I just didn't believe him. He just seemed like a buffoon commissioner. If he was a commissioner, he didn't seem real. The Riddler. A lot of people are saying that the Riddler. I've been looking at reviews in this movie, and I'm gonna get into that. But they're saying that the Riddler's performance. I forgot the name of the actor's name, but they're saying that his performance was on par with Heath Ledger. I call BS on that. He was corny. He was boring. He was, I see what they tried to do with the little interrogation room scene. I guess they were trying to give him his little Heath Ledger moment, but I just thought it came off boring and corny and it just I didn't like his portrayal of the Riddler. And why if he's if he I'm not gonna get into spoilers. I said I wasn't gonna get into spoilers, but I didn't like his portrayal of the Riddler. And last but not least, Catwoman. I did not like the portrayal of Catwoman. The Catwoman is supposed to be a little bit more sexual and sensual. Not saying that the actress that played her, Zoe Kravitz, she's a very beautiful, gorgeous woman. But she wasn't vivacious. She wasn't like sexually just Just when I think of Catwoman, her sexuality and her duality, it's on par. It's out for display. She's just oozing sex. When you think of Michelle Pfeiffer in the Michael Keaton Batman, when you think of Eartha Kitt playing Catwoman, these were women that just put their sexualities on display in the role. And it was oozing through the film. I didn't get that from her. She came off she came off to me as a bed wench. She came off as a bed wench. It's like every scene I'm turning around, she's, sucking lips with Robert Patterson. I thought that the Catwoman's goal and her mission was to be, get she was all about the bag and all about putting her sexuality for full display. I didn't see that. I wanted to see, Zoe Kravitz come out with the skin tight latex Catwoman suit on. We didn't see that. I didn't see her get butt half naked. We didn't see that. I wasn't feeling her portrayal of Catwoman. And I'm looking at the reviews of this movie and I'm not liking it. They're talking about it's a masterpiece. I don't see that. To me, it was an overdrawn, long 3-hour film that another thing I didn't like about that story, and that's going to be my third and my final take. It seemed like the story was just never ending. Like we never got that, closure, or maybe I just got tired of waiting for it over the 3-hour thing. But it just seemed like it was one thing after the next thing, after the next thing, after the next thing, after the next thing, and you thinking that the movie's gonna wrap up, but no, it's another thing, it's another thing. I just felt like the story just kept overgoing. That's why I'm saying that I felt like this movie could have been condensed better into a 2-hour, 30-minute frame. The 3-hour time frame of this movie doesn't do it for me. When you're doing a new adaptation of the Batman, it should have been a 2-hour, 30-minute, the most 2 hours and 30 minutes. You could have even conduced it to 2 hours and 15 minutes or 2 hours just flat. But they really dragged this film out, and I gotta say, if I'm ranking the best Batman movies, when I'm ranking the top Batman movies, this is probably, in my opinion, this might be either third or fourth. This is probably third or fourth. It's not better than the Dark Knight series. It's not better than the Michael Keaton series. It's not better than those. I'd say that it is better than the Val Kilmer and the George Clooney Batman movies. But this movie, they're calling it a masterpiece. I don't see it. I thought it was long, overdrawn. I thought that a lot of the characters just were boring. I didn't really find them interesting. I didn't find them, I just didn't believe them. Some of them just wasn't believable. Commissioner Gordon, to me, wasn't believable. Riddler was Catwoman was I know this wasn't like a groundbreaking movie that normally when we see these Batman movies, my anticipations and my expectations of Batman are always on 100. I'm expecting a director to really put his foot in that movie. But those are my thoughts. I thought the movie was long, overdrawn, and the characters were corny, bland, and some unbelievable. But what is your take? Have you seen the new movie, The Batman, with Robert Patterson, Zoe Kravitz? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you felt about this movie. I'm True and Living. Thank you for joining me.